What's going on, everybody? I'm Primal Liquid, and here I have another guide for Atelier Sophie 2 for you. In this one, we're going to be looking at how to create the perfect healing item, and this one is pretty goddamn insane, to be honest. So, what is it, what traits, and what effects do we need? Well, let's take a quick look at it, shall we? So, the item in question is going to be the Leberstrahl. Now, this is an AoE healing item. It has 3 uses initially, and it's incredibly overpowered, to be honest. So, let's take a look at the effects. So, straight off the bat, the first one, which is the wind element, does require, quite a bit. However, thankfully, the wind can be slightly ignored. What it does is it restores a fixed percentage of max HP with a low recovery power of 95. And the final tier is restores a fixed percentage of max HP and applies 2 stacks of HP regen. So, okay, not too shabby. However, what about the right hand side? Well, this one's a little varied. So, if you get MP regen M or L, that's only MP regen. It doesn't actually give you a flat MP heal there and then. So, that's why we're going to be going for the MP recovery XXL, which has a power of 250. Now, this one is incredibly important, because Placta's most overpowered item, and the most overpowered item in the game, uses all of Placta's MP, which is why this is going to be so important, because this is how we're going to restore that MP and just carry on dealing millions of damage, basically. As for the healing, don't worry about that, we're going to mitigate that with a trait. Now, for the light element, this one it's a little not really necessary per se for 99% of the time. However, this is sort of getting pre-ready for the DLC, basically. Because the first tier removes 1 random debuff and applies 1 stack of attack, defense, and speed increase. Not that important. Purifying Light removes all status effects, and this also means your buffs as well. So no matter what, do not get Purifying Light. The last thing you want to do is remove all of your buffs. As for the last one, it's slightly an upgrade because it only removes debuffs from you. This is the one you want. You always want that debuff removal. For the fire, this is probably the least important aspect of them all. So what is that? Well, the first one is absolutely nothing, basically. It just gives it a fire component. We don't care about that. The second tier is Activate Scatter. So whenever you use this item, it will create a time card with the same effect, basically. Okay, so a little helpful, but not for me. I prefer the auto activate. So whenever your character falls below 50% health, it will auto activate, basically healing and reviving the whole party. How does it revive the whole party when there's no revive here? Well, that again is done via a trait. So if we take a look at the actual effects I have, so I only have fractional HP recovery XXL on mine. I did not get the final tier wind effect, simply due to the fact I ran out of space on the board and I didn't really need it. Just like you won't need it either, because we're going to be using the Life Awakening trait, which cures KO, so in other words, that's going to revive you. It recovers 40% of your HP, so straight off the bat, that's an insane heal increase, especially combined with that and one of the other traits that we're going to be looking at in a minute. And it also gives you 1 stack of HP regeneration. This trait's very easy to get, don't worry about it. You probably got, like 50-60 items once you get to post-game with this on it. Next, we're going to be using Pure White Glory. Now, if you want a healing item that is built 110% solely to heal, you should change this out for something like Ultimate Recovery. Me, I don't necessarily think Ultimate Recovery is necessary, so I'm going with Pure White Glory. What it does is it applies 1 stack each of all status increases, so you get, all your stats increased. It gives you random resistance increase, and you get free random buffs as well. That's per character. So essentially, you know, you're getting 5 buffs whenever you heal, as well as being revived and fully healing. So incredibly good right there. Last of all, we have Demon Heal. Now, this increases items' recovery power by 100% at the cost of consuming 20% of max HP. Okay, well, that does absolutely nothing to us because of the simple fact it's going to fully heal us anyway. So we don't care about that 20% of the HP being used, because that 100% is doubling the Life Awakening heal, it's doubling the MP, it's doubling the fractional HP, and so on and so forth. Everything is getting doubled just from that trait, and that's why we're going to use that. Again, if you want like even more healing, just change Pure White Glory to Ultimate Recovery, and that will sort you out. So, how do we actually make the Leberstrahl? Well, first of all, this is a Plactor-only synthesis, unfortunately, so there's no using Sophie for this one. We're going to use the Growlier Catalyst, simply due to the fact it is just the best and easiest catalyst to reach the high effects for everything. And for the items, we are of course limited to Breath Organ in slot 1. This is where things get a little tricky, but I will talk about this in a moment. In fact, no, I'm just going to use that because that's actually the best one I've got. Unfortunately, I don't have a different one, but that's alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now, the Rebellion Gardenia is a unique item. You can only get this via trading the tokens in at the Pavilion. So, you know when you get the EX quests and you get little tokens for them, that is the only way to get this item. I think it may appear as a quest reward every now and again, but don't quote me on that. Other than that, you do need to trade the tokens in at the bar. So I'm going to use my best one, which is this one. Now again, as you can see, the quality is different on them. They are daily items, so if you go back to the bar every day, if it doesn't have the quality, the effects, the traits, or the elements that you want, just go back to the Atelier, rest the day, go back, and the items will be different, so you can choose a different one. Now, for elixirs, this one's actually really simple, because we're going to be using a Philosopher's Stone when I find the actual guide, when I find the actual one. Now, the reason we're using a Philosopher's Stone is a few reasons. So, firstly, wait, did I dupe the wrong one? I think I duped the wrong one. Oh, shoot. No, I didn't. There we go. So the reason we're going to be using a Philosopher's Stone is, first of all, it increases the maximum level of all the different effects. That's going to help us quite a lot with this one, trust me on that. But other than that, it is actually the easiest one to get all these traits on, because there's a lot of combinations required for this. Like Pure White Glory, it needs Pure White Resonance, Feeble Prosperity. There's a lot of combinations to go in here. Now, there will be a link down below in the description. If I forget to put the link there, comment and let me know, and I'll post it as a pinned comment. But essentially in that link, it'll have a list of all the traits, all the combinations needed for them, and so on and so forth. But again, I just suggest using a Philosopher's Stone for this. For the neutralizer, we're actually going to go ahead and use an aswell. And the reason for that is it increases the ice level, but it also has some good element effects. Just make sure the quality is as high as you can possibly get it. Now, with that said, let's get to placing them, shall we? Now, just like my other guides, I'm going to cut ahead to when, you know, everything's placed, the grid is filled, and then I'll go over the items I added and why, along with the order and priority system. So, I will be right back, everybody. Okay, so once again, I have unfortunately been unable to actually complete the actual grid. Unfortunately, I was not able to max out wind once again. It is perfectly fine like that. Do not worry in the slightest, because the trait is going to handle all the healing anyway. And when it comes to the wind effect, we are pretty much limited to 10 power difference between the XL and the final tier trait. not really anything to worry about at all. Now, I could have maxed the wind out as well if I was to actually go ahead and do a whole bunch of major gathering just to replace these items right here. But then that would also further lower the quality of the item. So all in all, I'm actually much better off right now just leaving the wind incomplete. Because, as I say, the traits are going to do all the healing anyway. So with all of the squares actually filled in, I am just going to go ahead and complete that synthesis. The super synth will go all the way up to 95%, which should give us the, it should give us a super synth, taking our quality up to maximum. Now we just need to throw the traits on, which, as I mentioned before, is going to be Pure White Glory, Life Awakening, and then Demon Heal. Now, you can actually trade this around if you want. There are things like Ultimate Recovery, there's Demon Throw, but that extends the wait time. There's God Throw, but again, that extends the wait time. And so I prefer just Demon's Heal, simply due to the fact it heals the HP that it costs anyway. So let's select that, hit OK, and voila, let's just see if it super synths, which it didn't. I got really unlucky there. So what you can do before synthesizing is save the game. If you don't get the super synth, not to worry, that is perfectly fine. Just go ahead and reload your save if need be. Now, thankfully, I've already got my original one made, which did get the super synth. But yeah, guys, that is how you get the best healing item, including the effects and the traits in Atelier Sophie 2. Still though, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helped. If it has, then please be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more Atelier guides. As always though, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.